Benita Story, also known as the Fiber Pusher. It's a little cloudy here this morning, which, to be honest with you, is good. For all the rain that we got earlier this spring, we haven't hardly had any rain since then. It's feast or famine around here. Anyways, I had put up the video about me doing the sun tea method of Osage orange and Alkanet, and they did really, really well as a sun tea method. But today I'm going to do the stovetop method, which is obviously doing it over a stove instead of letting the sun heat everything up. So I hope you join with me, and we'll get started on that. Okay, I am getting ready to do an Alkanet dye pot and an Osage orange dye pot. These are continuations of the sun teas. So by doing that, I learned that the Alkanet seemed to really, really respond well to isopropyl alcohol. And so that's what's in here soaking with the Alkanet root. And so I'm going to pour it in here, and I'm going to bind it up, and I'm going to go ahead and get it started in its dye pot. And then when I get done with it, I'm going to do Osage orange. Now, I'm reusing cloths from the dye pot that I just did with, this is the one that came with the black walnut, and this is the one with the cherry. Since they aren't pre-mortanted and they barely tinted the fabrics, I'm going to go ahead and reuse them. It's not going to hurt anything, and I might as well go ahead and reuse them. With this, if it's anything like what it did with the hanky, it may actually make this a really pretty color without any Mortons, but we'll see. So anyways, let me go ahead and get this all set up and in the dye pots, and I'll be right back. So now that we've got the Alkanet and the Osage orange dye pots done, this is the stovetop, I wanted to show you what some of the results are. I kind of went above and beyond on some of these because when I got done with the pot, there was a lot more color in the pot, so I'll show you that. But first, let's remind you what the sun teas look like on the Osage orange. Now, these were the sun teas. This is the 91% isopropyl alcohol. This is the Everclear, and this is the water. And if you can see, they're pretty much the same. They gave really, really good yellows and golds and everything. So this is what we did on the sun tea method. So let's look and see what we did with the dye pots. All right, let's start with the silk, because it was like the least results or anything. And again, I have more silk that I'm getting ready to pre-mortant and everything, because I'm beginning to wonder if a lot of the results that I'm getting on the silk are the fact that this silk had impurities in it and it corrupted the mortanting pots. And I think that's probably part of the problems with this, because all three of these silks are pretty close to the same. This one's the copper, which is a little bit more of an old brassy gold. And then this one here is just the silk. Yeah, this is the silk, which is a little lighter. And then the alum, which is a little lighter yet. So they're pretty colors. I mean, look at the gold on the silk fabric. Isn't that just amazing? I love this color. Absolutely love this color. This is royalty. Look at that gold. Yeah, I'm happy with the colors, and I am going to use them for something, but I really think that I need to do different silk. So let's look at the wool. The wool actually came out really pretty. I love the colors that I got with the wool. So let's look at first. This one here is alum. Pretty sure this is alum. Yeah, this is alum. So again, it's just a really gorgeous gold. I really like this color. I really, really, really like this color. So anyways, there's that one. Let's see, there's my second alum that I'm going to do in the iron afterbath later. So I'll put the alums down, this one down. And then we've got copper, which is a nice warm, it's just a really nice brown. It's a goldy, bronzy, yeah, I'm going to say bronzy brown. Maybe a little darker than my hair. But anyways, I really like this color. It's a nice color, and it will come in useful for a lot of things. Now the tin came out more orangey, which I thought that was really fun. So I have three colors in the same color family. I've got this old bronzy color. I've got this, it's funny because the wool fabric and the wool yarn on the tin came out to be different colors, which proves that you have to test it so many different ways. I mean, wool yarn and the wool fabric, and I got different colors. I like the fabric. I probably will end up dyeing some more wool fabric with this color because I just really like that one. So anyways, there's the three colors that I got with the wool. Now, what really surprised me was the cotton and the linen. Let's see, this is the linen. Now, remember me talking on the videos about the cherry heartwood and the black walnut and a couple of others, how I was curious what the difference would be between the aluminum acetate mortanted only and the tannin aluminum acetate mortant. And most of them, the aluminum acetate went and then I got some decent colors on the tannin. Well, what's really interesting, this is the linen, is I got a decided salmony pink on this is the aluminum acetate, and then I got a really nice gold on the tannin aluminum acetate. So I think I definitely will keep doing the aluminum acetate only because I like this color. And I mean, look at the color in the yarns and everything. I mean, I like this salmony pink and I love the gold. So yeah, but it's definitely a different color. That's handy. The cotton, it showed up even more. So I got a really nice pink on the cotton. I mean, look at that. Isn't that a lovely, lovely color? I just think that's pretty. And so, and then I got a really nice, good gold on the tannin aluminum acetate. And even the yarns, I mean, there's a decided pink and a decided gold. Yeah, I'm really, really surprisingly pleased with how the cellulose fibers came out on this. I really never thought I would get pinks out of Osage orange, but obviously I did. So, now, I'm going to show you the extras that I did. We'll get to that in a minute. So, one of the things that I wanted to dye up was a bag. And when I saw this come out of the pot, I thought, okay, if I show this to Sandy, I'm going to lose it. Because look at the gorgeous orange. Now, this is a really heavy canvas bag. Try to think. May have gotten it at Dharma Trading Company. Maybe. I don't remember. Anyways, now the handles themselves didn't dye as well. But look at that deep, rich orange. I know it needs ironed. But look at that deep, rich orange. I mean, it's a gorgeous, gorgeous, pumpkin-y orange. Yeah, if I show this to Sandy, I'm going to lose it. So I'm not going to show it to Sandy because the things that I'm dyeing extra, I have a plan for. And I will talk about that later when I'm ready to do the plan. But isn't that pretty? And that's Osage orange. This here was dyed tannin and aluminum acetate. And like I said, it's a heavy canvas bag. And I like how this turned out. The other thing, now, I dropped a little drawstring bag in. This was done in just the aluminum acetate only, and it's got a good pinky cast to it. I don't know, it's an interesting pink. For Caucasians, it's almost flesh color, because I mean, look at this. But while it's interesting and I like it, I think I'm going to do something different with this. Part of me wants to do a folding and over dye it in indigo. It's an okay color, but in a way it's a little boring. So I think I'm going to over dye this in indigo. But it's still kind of a neat color because, I mean, look at this. Now, the cloths that held the actual Osage orange in the pot, this is the one that held the only, and now this I didn't mortgage at all. This is what really gets me. It's a lovely pink, and it's a nice even pink, but this here was not mortanted at all, and it's not a whole lot different from the bag. I mean, the bag is a little richer color, but I'm going to keep this one here. Some of the ones, when I got these out of the pots and get them all washed out and everything. They're so pale that I just decided to reuse them. This one I'm going to keep because this would be a handy color like in a quilt or something. So yeah, I'm going to keep this one. It's about 18 by 18-ish, but again, it's just a lovely, lovely pinky color, and I got used for this one. And then the other ones that I put in, this one here was in the sun tea bath, and I want to say this was one of the alcohols. Now, this was not pre-mortanted, but I won't guarantee that it hadn't been dyed with something before that was so pale that I ever used the cloth. And then there's the other one. This is a light pink, and I probably will use this one because it's so pale, and it's just a man's hanky, so it's a real thin fabric. I don't know if it would be any good for like quilts or anything like that. I think it's just too open weave. So I probably will take this one here and reuse it. So now let me show you the t-shirt. This was meant to be a tie-dye experiment. And so what I did is I mortanted. This has been mortanted with the tannin and an aluminum acetate. And I washed it. And I wadded it up and tied it really, really tight. But I think I left it in the pot too long because I brought it up to a boil and then let it cool overnight. And so I think a lot of the dye penetrated, but in a nice way. Check this out. Isn't that lovely? I mean, seriously, isn't that lovely? I really, really like this. Now, there's one minor part, and you can see it here. There's a slight hole in the shirt. And if I know there was going to be a hole in the shirt, I probably would not have used this shirt to dye with. But it's cotton. I'm pretty sure I have a DNC floss that's in this color, and I will mend it. But this is Scott's shirt. With him being a redhead, well, what he's got left is red and white. Anyways, he looks great in this color. So this is his shirt. It's his size. But look at how isn't that beautiful? It's one of those patterns that the more you look at it, the more, it's almost like a Rorschach type of shirt. You just see more. I mean, like I see a huge flower here, and it's just, to me, it's almost like looking through leaves and trees and everything. It's just, I think it's beautiful. I think it's absolutely beautiful. So that's what I did with the Osage orange. Now, let me get out everything for the Alkanet. Okay, for the Alkanet pot, I want to remind you what the sun tea was. So I did this one twice. Sun tea one was these colors. This was the water. This was the Everclear. And this is the isopropyl alcohol. And if you remember, the isopropyl alcohol ended up being darker. And I apologize for my nails. You can tell I've been dying. So I ended up using the isopropyl alcohol in the hot pot on the stove. But that's what we did with the sun teas. Now, these have some really nice, there's a purple in the cotton, but there's a really nice, I don't know, tonal gray color in there. And you get some green tones and stuff over here. So keep that in mind. I love this. Okay, let's start with the cloths. So this is the one that I put the Alkanet in the pot. This was not pre-mortanted or anything. This was just going in to hold the actual Alkanet root stuff. It's gorgeous, and this has been washed and everything. And I think I'm going to keep this one here for a quilt too. It's just beautiful. And so, yeah, I like it. It's actually got some spackles on it. So this is going to be obviously for a quilt too. So, and then the cloths that were actually in the pot, and the cloths that were actually from the sun teas that I brought over to the pot, I kept 2 of them. No, I guess I kept all 3 of them. So this one here was the one that was in the water. And it's a nice light tonal gray. It's got some purple cast to it. I like it. I'm not going to over dye this one here. I'm going to use it for something. I just don't know what yet. But I really like the colors in it. I like the tie-dye effects too. And then this one here, let's see. This one here is the one that was in the Everclear. And again, isn't that pretty? I mean, I really think these came out so well. I really like Alkanet. Now Alkanet, I mean, you could do it so that you do get purples and stuff like that. but everybody shows it with the purples, and I wanted to show other colors that you can get. I mean, mind you, this is definitely a purple, but this is the sun tea, so this wasn't heated up real hot. And then this here is the isopropyl alcohol one. Now you can definitely see a difference between the Everclear and the isopropyl alcohol. See? The Everclear, now I gotta get this straight. The Everclear was the redder one? I think the Everclear was the redder one and the isopropyl alcohol was the bluer one. I can't remember. Anyways, now I've got to go look at pictures. Anyways, one of these is isopropyl alcohol, one of them's the Everclear, but there's definitely a color tinge. This one's purpler. This is a redder purple, and this is a bluer purple. I'm trying to think. I think the redder purple was the Everclear, and the bluer purple was the isopropyl alcohol. I have to go look that up, don't I? Anyways, there's that. I love those. I think those are pretty. Now let's get into the yarns. Oh my gosh. The silks. Again, apologizing for the quality of the Morton tea and the silk, because it's like all three of them came out the same color. But what a color. Look at that. And look at that yarn. Isn't that? It is a gorgeous blue-gray. There's definitely blue casts to it. It just is stunning. And there is a slight color darker in the copper, but I don't even think it's going to show up on here. Now it looks pretty much the same all the way around. But pretty colors. Yeah, I like this. As you can tell, I like them all. And then let's go to the wools. Alrighty. Let's show the copper first. Now the copper, because you remember it started out like a seed foam green. Lovely, gorgeous olive green. I love olivey greens. I love yellow toned greens. And to me, this is an absolutely gorgeous color. See isn't that pretty? So yeah, I liked it with the copper. This is the alum, which is just a nice teal. It's just a really gorgeous teal. I'm really pleased with how this pot turned out. I have a lot of Alkanet root left over, so I will definitely be doing a bunch of dyeing for me on this. But this is just beautiful. So that's in the alum. And then let me get the tin out. And then this is the tin. And the tin also is a really nice teal. It's darker, and I'm not sure. I think it has definitely more grays in it. Let's compare it to the alum. Yeah, see, it's darker, and it definitely has more grays and stuff in it. So the three colors that I got on the wool are these, and I'm really pleased with them. This, to me, was a very successful pot. So, a few other things. Oh yeah, we want to do the cellulose fibers. This is the linen. The one in front is the aluminum acetate, and the one in back is the tannin aluminum acetate. So there is a color difference. I mean, this seems brighter, and in this case, I think I would prefer to have just the aluminum acetate, because this is kind of a duller green tone. But this is actually a really nice, almost a robin's egg blue. And there it is in the yarns. It's a really pretty robin's egg blue. And then, let's see, where's the cotton? Cotton, the same thing. I think even cotton is a prettier blue. This is not a robin's egg blue as much as this is almost a light periwinkle. Isn't that pretty? Now this is the aluminum acetate only, and then this is the tannin aluminum acetate. So you see the color difference. I mean, while this is a nice color and definitely has its uses, this is a really pretty color. And then here it is in the yarns. Isn't that nice? Now, I did do some extras. I shoved in at the end a scrunchie. So it's a really pretty scrunchie. This one here was just aluminum acetate mortanted, and a pair of shoelaces, again just aluminum acetate mortanted. I don't know whether I'm going to leave these this color or if I'm going to over dye parts of them, maybe with indigo, maybe with something else. I don't know. I may over dye parts of these with something that has a red in them. Maybe, yeah, I might do that because that would end up making some purples and stuff on this, but it would have to be a light red because I think it would overwhelm this really easy. So shoelaces and a scrunchie. And I dropped a t-shirt in. Now this was tannin and aluminum acetate mortoned. So again, like with the Osage orange, I had wadded it up after it was wet and tied it really tight. But again, I think I left it in the dye pot over too long. And so it ended up being this gorgeous mottled. I just think it's beautiful. This here it's a size XL. It's a size XL. This is one of the ones that I'm saving for something special. This is not going to be worn by anybody of us or anything. This has got a special plan in mind. So, but isn't that gorgeous? Now, here's the tannin and aluminum acetate, and the shirt I'm wearing is just the aluminum acetate. Now look at the difference. What do you think? I mean, I like the aluminum acetate best with the Alkanet. I just think it's prettier. Now, what this shirt represents, let me put this down, is I had this shirt. I bought this shirt, I only got to wear it like once, I think, and I spilled a little bit of tea here, and it stained it, and I couldn't get it out. And so I just shoved it in the back of the closet, thinking one of these days I'll figure out how to get that tea stain out. Well, as I was cleaning out my closet, I came across this shirt. Now, it was ivory with this ivory trim, and the trim, this is 100% cotton, and the trim is rayon. And so I pulled it out, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to over dye this. So I put it in the aluminum acetate and let it soak in there overnight, rinsed it out, and then put this all by itself in the Alkanet pot. Look at this. Isn't it beautiful? I love the speckles on it. And that's probably where I didn't stir the aluminum acetate up, enough. And so some places got mortoned more. But what do you think? And I love how it dyed the rayon trim. I mean, it looks almost white here, but it does have that subtle blue-gray tone to it. And it just, when I pulled this shirt out of the pot, it was a lot darker, obviously, because I hadn't rinsed it out and it wasn't dry or anything. But it's like, ooh, I like the color. Matter of fact, when I pulled it out of the pot, it was closer to this. Of course, it's like, ooh, that's gorgeous. It was closer to this. So, but I washed it and I dried it, and this is what it ended up being. And honest with you, I had it hanging up. I have everything hanging from the ceiling fan in my room so that the ceiling fan could dry everything overnight. So I had this hanging up from the ceiling fan, and I woke up first thing in the morning and there's this shirt, and I'm thinking, I've got a new favorite shirt. I think it is absolutely beautiful. I love, love, love the tone. I love what it did here. I will be doing this more often. This is pretty. Oh no, by the way, yes, I'm keeping this one. This one here isn't for anything special. This is mine. But oh, isn't it gorgeous? Ah, love it. So anyways, that is the Alkanet and then the Osage orange. And so that's kind of what colors I got with them. Now, mind you, this here soaked in the isopropyl alcohol, and obviously I brought it up to a boil. Let's face it, it boiled. But I like the colors it came out of. I know most people leak of Alkanet wanting to get the reds and the purples and stuff out of it, but I like these teal colors. I like these gray greens and the blues and everything. And I think the next time I do an Alkanet pot, I will do more to get these colors, because I think these colors are pretty. So there you go. I hope you join me either on the Osage orange or on the Alkanet with the isopropyl alcohol, because I'd like to see what colors you guys get too. So thanks for joining me. Bye.